This is Quarter Notes with DCC. I'm Eric Taylor, Artistic Director for the Detroit Children's Choir. The Detroit Children's Choir uses the power of choral music to foster musical excellence and build an inclusive community of creative, confident, and focused youth and teens throughout southeastern Michigan. And today we have a very special interview. We actually just finished a major project that's going to be released later this year. And I invited several of our students to talk about their experiences in the recording studio. So with that in mind, I am pleased to introduce all of our guests that are here today.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm in 11th grade and I've been in the DCC for 4 years.
Hey, my name is Jalil. I'm in the 11th grade and I've been with DCC for 4 years.
Hi, my name is Maya and I'm in the 3rd grade and I've been in the DC for 4 years.
Hi, my name is Addison. I'm in 6th grade and I've been in DCC for 3 years.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. This is going to be a really awesome conversation. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are going to talk about a project we just did. We were in the recording studio last week. So, really quick poll, just by show of hands, raise your hand if this was your first experience ever in a recording studio. Awesome. And Maya, I think this was also your first time too. Yes? Perfect. Excellent. So everybody, this was their first time in the recording studio. So whoever wants to go off mute and share, what was it like walking into the recording studio for the first time? Like, what were your thoughts? What were your reactions? What did you experience?
It kind of looked like a window and I could kind of hear the voices from the microphone from some of it.
Right. Absolutely. There was, we went into a big room and there was a window where our producer can see us. And we were all in the recording studio room just singing our pieces.
It was an awesome experience, actually.
Absolutely. What made it so awesome? What was amazing about it?
As what Maya said before, the experience, like when you walk into the studio, like the first thing you see is all those buttons. All those buttons, the control that the producer has, it was a lot. It was like so many buttons. And in the studio, when you first walk in, it's just as you would ever imagine. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. With like the microphones all there, the headphones. If you're a musician and you love making music, it was like a dream. You're like in a dream. And so the first thing you see when you like really see in there is those headphones. And you always want to know what happens if I put these on and I talk into the mic. You actually hear people around you when you have the headphones on. Like you talking to the mic, you have the headphones on, you can hear other people around you. It was like amazing. More amazing than I could ever experience, actually.
That's awesome. And in the realm of choir, we always talk about how important it is to be able to hear everybody when you're singing, right. Like to hear the people all around you. How awesome was it that we've been rehearsing through Zoom because of the pandemic. How awesome was it, and anybody can comment, to be able to go from I'm in Zoom to there's people around me and I can hear them?
It was actually cool because like before it's like when you're in the Zoom it's like lagginess and you can't really hear that much.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, it was laggy.
But when you like actually see, and like also you get to see new people actually face to face instead of just like looking at them in the camera, because we had a lot of new people coming this year.
Yes, absolutely. And it definitely changes the dynamic of we're on a computer to now we're singing live. There's more than just our faces we can see. What else? I saw people nodding their heads. Like, what other things were you thinking about in regards to the studio?
It definitely was an adjustment because we have been practicing online all year, but once we finally got into the studio and we were talking for a little bit and everyone was kind of more familiar with each other, it kind of felt like we had always done this, or like it was something just regular for us because all of us wanted to be there. We all really liked the experience, so you could definitely see that from how we just picked up the pieces and did it, you know?
Right. It
Honest,
just
I
felt
can't
like
wait to go
home.
back. To be honest, I cannot wait to go back.
Yes.
It was an
Abs-
awesome experience.
Awesome.
Like
Glad.
once you like walk through those doors, it's like, okay, it's game time. Now you gotta get it and get it go.
Our
Absolutely.
time to shine. We can do it.
Right. It's like, and Maya, you were talking a little bit about the headphones. What was it like to be able to put on those headphones and you're there? Talk about the headphones a little bit, Maya.
I heard a little bit of the music coming from and people's voices, and I heard almost everybody in the headphones.
That's awesome. That's awesome to be able to just hear everybody, and it's like it's the realization that kicks in. It's like game time. It's ready to go.
Well, the second thing I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So the second thing that was like most amazing was the microphones. Like, I did not know it, but when you put those headphones on and you just like and you start singing, they pick up on everything. Like they pick up on absolutely everything. So like if you have like keys in your pocket, they pick it up. It was always that was the one thing I was like, wow, these microphones are like really sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna pick up on me, but no, it picks up on all the surrounding. That was the one thing I was like wow.
Right. Addison, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, so like when we just started when we just got in there, my group, like it was like kind of like a nervous kind of thing. So everybody was like laughing, like trying to make jokes to make like more comfortable. And like when it was like time to sing, it was a lot of people like a little bit of giggling, laughing. And then when we heard it back, we heard like people laughing, and everybody was like, "Wait, how did they hear us when we were whispering?" Like,
The microphones pick up all.
The microphones of truth, the ones
Right.
of power that our producer uses to hear.
Absolutely. It actually does segue into Addison. You actually give me a good segue to get into the next question. So we were in a recording studio, and we cannot thank our partner enough, Tempermill Studios in Ferndale, for making this possible, to have us all come in. They kept us safe during the pandemic. We wore our masks, and when it was time to record, we take our masks off and put it all back on. But one of the things that we had to do to adjust was we did not go as a complete choir. We went in groups. So what I'm curious about, everybody can talk about this. So Maya was in one group, Addison was in one group, and Jaleel and Vanessa were in another group as well. So can you talk a little bit about like working in small groups in the recording studio? What was that like for you?
At first it was a little sad to like not have the whole choir, because when you're in this choir, it feels like you have a whole entire family. In any of the concerts, it's like you don't see all of the groups at once when you're when you're practicing or anything, but then when there's a concert, it's like everyone's there. So you kind of miss that. But then something that always helped me was when we were listening to the tracks when we were about to sing them, and you could hear the little kids like giggling or like laughing, or one of them was like breathing a little heavy or something, and you could hear that. It was really nice because it felt like everyone was still there, but just it felt a little different, but it still felt okay.
Absolutely. Maya, Addison, what do you think about that as well?
yeah, it was at the same time happy. I was sad at the same time, like because like she said, there wasn't like all of us together, and it was just like, okay, it's only this group, and then next time it'll be this group, this group, this group. But at least we got to hear like the midtown group still in our ears, so we know like, okay, how we go, like what note we're on. Even though sometimes we do know what note we're supposed to be on, it's like kind of hard to where like you don't hear everybody else to see if we all match together or like be separate.
Absolutely. And for those who are watching, our groups are broken down by grades. So Midtown is for students in grades 3, 4, and 5. Downtown is for grades 6, 7, and 8. And Woodward is for grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we do that in the Zoom format to, help build skills for elementary, middle, and high school students. So that was just a quick sidebar for the moment in time. Good, a lot of great things just to talk about. But when it comes to you're listening to the music, you're listening to the track, you're hearing the voices, you're hearing the notes. Talk to me about the tracks start playing, and you're about to sing. What's going through your mind?
So what will be going through my mind is, can I sync it up? Can I make it good? Can I sound good? So, but it was like hard because like I was trying to like sing in my key and keep in time with the music. It was difficult, but I kind of got the hang of it. Since
Right.
I could hear everybody around me. I could, which was amazing. Because now I could also hear my voice, which was weird.
Right.
So, but it was an experience that I would remember for the rest of my life.
Jalil, you bring up a very interesting point. We talk about, when you're performing live on stage, you're talking about, you're listening to the people around you. And, usually it's like the person on your left and the person on your right when you're performing on stage.
Right.
Now you've got this added element of now you're listening to the person on your left, the person on your right, and the person in your left ear and right ear and yourself.
Right.
Which was weird, insanely weird.
Weird feeling. Tell me about the added challenge that has now been added of now you have to balance yourself and the voices in your ear and the people around you. So talk a little bit about that.
What's the other question?
Just talk about the challenge of like hearing people like in your headphones.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Some of them was hard to learn from some of the songs, and I like singing.
Yeah, to be able to hear yourself sing into your headphones, that's definitely a weird feeling.
The part that helped me was that a tip that Mr. Taylor gave us to help was like have like our headphones on our head, but like one sticking out so we can still hear everybody else. So I feel like that's what helped me to make sure like, okay, I hear the people, I hear Midtown. Okay, so let me make sure me and Downtown got our note.
Yes, absolutely.
What the good thing was is like when I was next to Maya, so when me or Maya heard we were on the wrong note, we like talked to each other like, hey, that's not your note, and we got back on key.
Fantastic. Vanessa, what do you think?
I think that when you have both or the headphones on completely, it does feel like you're kind of in your own world, and like you might not necessarily know what you're singing, because at first you're like, I think we're so dependent on our choir sometimes to like give us a note or help us a little bit. So then when you're on your own and you're isolated, you kind of feel like, okay, I gotta know my note. But the good thing is that because we've all like practiced online basically alone, we instantly know our note, which is something that I didn't really get to experience until this year, and like being alone virtually, because usually you rely on your choir, but because we're usually isolated in our rooms now, we're learning more, I feel like, in the sense of being more dependent on yourself and your notes and your choir.
I hope every choir person, regardless of Detroit Children's Choir or any choir, like remembers that, because that's the one thing I've noticed with Zoom and recording studio time is that you are going from, oh, I have people around me I can depend on for my part. Guess what? You're on your own. For, at least on the Zoom side and a little bit on the recording studio side too. So I wonder if, as a result of, actually, no, I'm not going to wonder. I know for a fact that all of you have become, even better musicians than you already are because you've been isolated during this pandemic.
Right. Because
you
like
know,
I would like always be used to like not hearing my own voice when I'm singing since I'm listening around. But with those extra elements added in, it sticks to you like to what to work on with like what to add on to your career if you want to do singing. It's like those like listening to yourself, listening around in case like if you really like need to like what's the word I'm looking for? Push yourself, accelerate yourself to the goal that you want to add those elements onto your voice, which is amazing.
One of the pillars of our mission is confidence. And I think because of this process of going into the studio and, regardless of whether we sell one album or 1 million albums or a billion albums, I think that to me is the most important thing, that you've all developed the confidence to be able to, become better musicians and better people as well. So I think that's great. So actually, speaking of the mission, so there are 3 pillars: creativity, confidence, and focus. If you had to pick one of those 3 words as, one of the pillars that we really focused on the recording studio project, now I'm going to ask everybody, what pillar sticks out in your mind as a result of participating in the recording studio, and why? So I've been doing Vanessa first, so I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to have Addison go first.
Okay, so I think it'll be focus. Because when we had the headphones in and all that stuff, you had to make sure like you were saying the right words, making sure you're on the right tempo, right part, and all that other stuff. So focus. And also making sure that you're on the same tempo as Mr. Taylor while as he directs.
Yep, always watching the conductor, making sure that we're all on the same page. All right, Maya, same question. If you had to pick a word, creativity, confidence, or focus, that sticks in your mind because of this project?
Creativity and focus.
So I would pick confidence and focus, because within the recording there were a couple of people who like couldn't articulate the words better. So that's one of the things that I would put into that. And the focusing one, like the tempo, the beat, when it's at the start, when your cue's coming in, that's one of the things. And what's another one? The creativity was another one I was going to say too. Creativity was another one that would make you like create your own rhythm, but you actually have to stay on pace with the song as it continues. So like basically knowing your part and how it's supposed to be sung, the type of note you're supposed to hit, and it's like up or down, like high or low. It's one of those things.
Awesome. And Vanessa?
I'm just gonna basically reiterate what I said before, which is like confidence, because I feel like not only in the studio you need to have confidence in yourself and your choir, but after, when you leave, to some people it seems like music can only just be like a hobby or something you do, like at home or like when you're in your car or something. But after like recording, it kind of felt like, we could actually do this and we can actually do something for the future by recording what we're doing, and we can like change lives by actually doing something like recording an album or anything like that. It doesn't just feel like a hobby. It feels like you could actually make this passion into like a job or something like that.
Awesome. I totally agree. So now here's a question. We're going to tease the audience a little bit, because earlier this morning, I was able to introduce all of the final mixes to the choir. So they've had a chance to hear all the music, and we're going to play them all right now. I'm kidding. No, we're not going to do that right now. But not going to give all.
Oh my God.
It's like, wait, what? So no, we're not going to do that. You will see the album later this year. But so we've all had a chance to listen to the final mixes. So here's my question to all of you, and same thing. We'll go in reverse again. So Addison, then Maya, then Jaleel, then Vanessa. If you had to pick the track that's going to be the wow, this is the best track that when people buy this album, you have to listen to this track first. All right. Which track would you recommend to the people listening at home? All right. Got it? All right, Addison, you're up.
All right, so before you listen to anything else, you have to listen to Behelehimu because that really gets you into it to be like, okay, this is gonna be a good record. Okay, we have some excitement into it.
Okay. All right, Maya, if you had to pick a favorite track, what would it be?
It will be In the Bleak Midwinter and Silent Nights.
Oh, yes. We actually made new arrangements of In the Bleak Midwinter, and we worked on 2 languages for Silent Night. Should I give it away? I gave it away. Oops.
Oh.
2 languages for Silent Night. I won't
Just
tell
don't tell them what languages.
I won't tell them the languages, but
Okay.
but
What if I give a sneak peek?
Yeah, right. So, and here we go. No, but 2 languages for Silent Night. You'll just have to get the album when it comes out. Find out what they are. All right.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Anyway. Okay,
Uh-oh.
Jaleel, what about you?
The 2 songs I would actually have to pick is Angels in Heaven and Bethlehemu.
I Know I've Been Changed and Bethlehemu. Ooh, yeah, I Know I've Been Changed is a pretty good one as well. And Bethlehemu.
That solo part.
That solo. She just showed that.
Hey, no spoilers. No spoilers. No.
Oh, wait, that's a spoiler. Oh, no. What have I done? What have I done?
What solo? What are you talking about?
What solo?
He.
I said he. Yes, he.
Yes, he.
Man. It's a man.
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, it's all good. Okay, and Vanessa.
I would agree with Addison. I think Bethlehemu was very, very strong. Just because it can show what our choir can do. There's so many voices in that, and there is so much I think it's just an amazing piece.
Awesome. So, wide variety of opinions here in the choir. This is excellent. I love it. All right. So, just to kind of close out our conversation, first of all, thank you all so much for being here. Really
having us.
No problem. Just to kind of final thoughts, final reflections on this process. If there's one thing that you will take away, something that you've learned from participating in this process, something that you didn't know before we started doing a recording studio project. If there was one thing that you learned, what would it be? It could be music, it could be life, it could be anything you want. Something that you've learned. You gotta learn something.
The first
How about
go
let's
ahead.
do
Go ahead.
we'll do Vanessa, Jaleel, Maya, and Addison.
It would be music because I can learn different musics and how to sing it.
Awesome. Vanessa?
I would say that what I learned is that even if a choir isn't all together, that doesn't mean that it's not a choir, because we haven't been together for a year now, and we just walked into that recording studio like we had been practicing together this whole time. So I think it was really pretty.
Awesome. Just for context, our last rehearsal was a couple days before the pandemic was declared, and the recording studio was the first time we'd all been together. Jaleel?
Well, one thing that I can reflect on is to trust my voice. Recently in the past, while I started singing, I didn't really trust my voice because I was trying to do high notes when I really shouldn't be doing that, low notes that I couldn't really hit. But within this recording studio and within this recording session, I learned to trust my voice more than I should, which is a insane thing that comes to my mind and learning.
Addison?
Okay, so that was a hard question, but I would have to say practice, because their practice is mine, because like Vanessa said, it's a you we've been away for so long that it's like hard to like get back together, like, okay, we're back now, let's like, let's pick up from what we did before, when it's like, no, you gotta slow down, you gotta make sure it's like, it's not like you gotta go into the process like, okay, I know what I'm doing, because like when we first went there, it's like, okay, I don't know what we're supposed to be doing right now, I don't know what we're supposed to be singing, I don't know how we're supposed to do it, but yeah, so you just gotta practice, and with us doing the Zooms, it did help us more, so we know like when we go in here what we're supposed to do and all that.
Awesome. I couldn't have said that better myself. Well, everyone, Vanessa, Jaleel, Maya, Addison, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your
Thank
day
you.
to talk
Thank
about
you
this
again for having
process.
us.
Thank you.
And oh, it's no problem, no
Yes,
problem.
sir.
And for all of our viewers who are watching this video, the album is going to be called Winter Greetings. It will be coming out later in 2021. On behalf of everyone in the Detroit Children's Choir, this has been Corner Notes with DCC. I'm Eric Taylor. Have a great day.
God bless you guys.